being in real estate, I hear this a lot, is real estate is a sport and you're the athlete. So you constantly got to be training to become the best you can. And that ties into, growing up in sports. It's the same deal,
I just gotta get it, I just gotta get it, I just gotta go, go, go. I just gotta flip it, watch the money grow, grow, grow. So a little mama, drop it down to the floor, oh, oh. After one night, she gon' be begging for more, oh, oh.
Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Dilla Brankston. We're back again with another Storytime segment. And I'm back with my best co-host in the world, TKD2, and Dear Michael. How we doing, fellas?
Doing well, man. How you feeling?
Good.
Man, I'm glad to have y'all here. It's been a great week so far. Time to wrap up this week, head into the weekend, but not before we deliver a great Storytime segment. And like always, Storytime segment is based off a word of the week and a special guest that we bring on each and every week. And again, we got another spectacular guest for you all. He is he was in pharmaceutical sales. Now he's a real estate agent, finding his way through that business. Give it up for our boy Brice.
Thanks for having me, fellas. Glad to be here. Excited. Let's get it.
Yeah, how you doing, man? You doing well?
I'm doing well. How you boys doing?
Man, you look cozy with that fireplace in the background.
Hey, it's not real.
hey, they don't know that though.
Very festive. Very
Hey,
festive.
as long as it still gives out heat and looks nice, it's still a fireplace.
Yeah, that's the way it looks. That's all I need, man.
That's all you need.
All you need.
Exactly.
But like I said, man, each week we base a Storytime segment off of the word of the week. This week's word of the week is willpower. So make sure y'all think about that throughout the whole entire segment, all of us. And then at the end, we'll kind of wrap it in all together and explain what willpower means to us and how we apply it to our daily lives and everything like that. But Brice, go ahead and tell us a little bit about yourself to us and to the fans as well.
Yeah, 100%. And I want to thank you guys for having me again. Seriously, I love doing this stuff. So 22 years old, so I'm a young buck, man. I born and raised in Louisville. Went to UK for about a year and a half after that. I played ball most of my life, baseball, basketball, played sports from probably, 8 years old on up. Didn't really want to know what I wanted to do. Through high school up to college, I honestly thought I was going to be a event host, have a music festival, and I started my own thing, started doing that a little bit. It was really successful, and I'd be happy to tap on that a little bit more. But that was a really cool deal. Thought I was going to do that. Went to UK for econ, studied that. Absolutely hated it, man. Just school is, it's, this day and age, I don't know if it is for everybody. There's a lot of different opinions on that. We can get into that as well. But so I did about a year and a half at UK, and I took a job opportunity in West Palm Beach, Florida. Did that, was a pharmaceutical sales rep for equine, and man, that was a total 360 for me. So I did that for about 2.5 years, 2 years. Absolutely loved it. Traveled everywhere from New York to Michigan to Florida to North Carolina, just a bunch of places, man. I got to see a lot of cool places, meet a lot of cool people. So planted my roots back down to Kentucky and got my real estate license. Always been around real estate. My dad's been in it for about 25 years. Grandpa was a realtor as well. So just trying to launch my career in that, man. So day by day, I'm taking it, learning every day. And yeah, that's kind of where I'm at right now. Mm-hmm.
No, it's pretty dope.
Big.
Yeah, that's pretty big to be able to do all those things, especially at a young age, man. I mean, that's a huge honor.
Yeah.
But I always ask people, whenever they go to college, either they graduate, don't graduate, whatever may have them on their own journey. But like, what's the answer of, is college relevant to that, like today and in these times? And it's always mixed answers of, yeah, it's important still, or no, depending on the degree you want to get. So I mean, it's obviously you kind of already answered that question, so I won't ask that. But is there any significant time, like when you was at Kentucky, where you was just like it was an eye-opening experience, or was it something you've already you visited campus in high school, so you kind of already knew what you kind of get into, or when you got there, you're like, oh, this is what college is really like?
Yeah, 100%. I think when you're young and you're going to college, you're not really thinking about the money aspect of it as much.
Yeah.
And, that really hits you when you start going to college and your parents are saying, hey, this is what this year's costing. You're really seeing those numbers in front of you, and you're the one that's having to pay it. that's when it really hits you because, my parents, they're great, but they're really strict as far as, hey, this is on you. This part's on you. This is what you're going to pay. How are you going to come up with that? Because we're not, you can do it yourself. You're going to have to go to school, make this money, and do it all at the same time. Right. So once I started really thinking about that, I was like, you know, and reading a lot, a lot of, it kind of became a fad as to where a lot of these young kids are starting to just kind of go straight into entrepreneurship, right? They don't need college. They don't need XYZ. I went into college when it was that COVID time. And half the
Mm,
time, kids weren't even taking the ACT. They were just getting accepted into college, right? Just filling out a form. And that's kind of, that was the weird time that I was in when I went to college. So, but yeah, to answer your question, man, it really does depend, in my opinion, what you're going to college to study for.
yeah.
Like for instance, my sister, she does something with hearts. She's like some type of doctor. She does, some big time stuff like that. Totally worth it. Go learn, man. You're doing some serious stuff, But as far as, whatever it's, no offense to anyone with like a marketing degree or whatever it may be,
Yeah.
in my opinion, if you really want it, you can go online and teach yourself as much as you want, as much as you want. Be your own teacher if you really want it, and you can actually pick what you're interested and really hone in on that thing and learn it, right? So without all that money, you're not going to graduate and be like, oh, now I got $100,000 in debt and I don't even know what I want to do. Was it
Facts.
really worth it? I don't know. Was it? So
No,
that's my opinion on it. But
no, that's a fact. That's a fact.
No, that's true.
Yeah,
yeah,
that's a fact.
That's so true.
We all go through that, especially when you. I think it's also ushered to it on generations of just like you say. If you don't know what you want to do, the obvious
mm-hmm.
answer sometimes is just go to college, and you don't know what that entails of the expenses of all that stuff. So you're right. I
Right.
think it's important for everybody to break down, the scenarios or
Mm-hmm.
situations and figure out what it is they really want to do at a young age, like 16, 17, when you get around that age to really solidify, okay, this is what I want to do. It can change. Like you don't have to be set in stone at 16, 17, 18, but just have a
Mm-hmm.
general idea of, what it is the next 2 or 3 years you want it to look like. So that you kind of have a blueprint of what those years kind of entail and you can stick to whatever plan you decide for yourself. But again, man, we appreciate you giving your insight on that. But
Mm-hmm.
growing up, like both an athlete, right? You say you played a little sports. Growing up,
Mm-hmm.
doing that and having an entrepreneurial background with your family, like how did those two identities shape the way you approach challenges and opportunities, like in your life and work?
Yeah, 100%. And that's a great question. I was blessed to have really good coaches growing up. I'm still in contact with a baseball coach of mine who is, 8 years old to
Mm,
12U, and he was that much of an impact on my life. So I still reach out to him, hey, how's the family? How's everyone doing, right? But I think those coaches really taught me. They were my sports coach, right? And I was around them so much as a young age because I'm traveling, and so I picked up what they were doing and I applied it kind of a little bit to my real life, And my dad was my life coach, so I think those two combined it because when you're in sports, you're on a schedule, you got to accomplish XYZ. It's hard work, it's dedication, right? you,
mm,
you got to work to get better, and that definitely 100% without a doubt, if you're an athlete, it carries over to your life in some way, some aspect, right? You're not, that things that you want don't come easy. You're not going to be the best pitcher in the world if you're not going in and throwing some pitches every day or whatever it may be, right? So just the more you practice on your craft, whether it's in sports or in life, it all ties together. Like being in real estate, I hear this a lot, is real estate is a sport and you're the athlete. So you constantly got to be training to become the best you can, and that ties into growing up in sports. It's the same deal, So
that's different. That's different. Never thought of that that way of putting it. That perspective is interesting. But I guess it does
mhm.
make sense. I guess it's anything with business. Is if you grew up playing some type of competitive sport where you had coach teammates and you start getting into business, you start to figure out it's kind of similar. Now the game of it is different and how you approach the technology and the information of it is different, but it still goes down to those core principles. And if you are able to be teachable, if you are able to have foresight and obviously create the right infrastructure and environment around the right people, then there's always room for success. But like you said, you still gotta go in the gym every day and get your shots up just to get better. So, nah, that's
Yep,
real. That's real.
exactly, man. It's a process. You don't get a six pack overnight, and no matter
Indeed.
what you're doing in life, it's consistency.
Yeah. Consistency is key, boy, especially on that six pack.
Yeah,
Especially on that,
exactly.
especially on that six pack.
Hey, a lot of consistency. Can't be going out McDonald's getting those McFlurries all the time, man.
Hey,
That'll hurt you.
Nothing like that.
Even though they're good though.
things are smacking. Yeah.
So I kind of want to dive into, you talk about doing a little bit of pharmaceutical route right out of college. What really made you want to go that route? Was there something specific? Was it a friend? Or was it just like, hey, man, I got nothing else to do. I might as well go this route.
Man, honestly, it's just connections that I had. And I was blessed to be able to take it. It was a great opportunity. That industry, I don't know if you guys know a lot about it, but the horse industry it's an industry, man. It's a niche. It's a little niche, and if you get a hold of it and you know how to utilize the connections that you're making, it's great. There's a lot of people that I shook hands with, a lot of people that I met that I would never ever came across unless I was in that specific industry. Like I said, I showed you boys a picture. Like I ran into like Tom Brady and a lot of people who, if you listen to this, Bella Hadid, a lot of the girls knew who that was. I didn't even know who it was. And she came, and then I met her, like the owners of Campbell's Soup, the people who with Victoria's Secret, the biggest stock owners of Starbucks, like just people who own the Bruins hockey team. Like these are all people that I'm just casually like I can remember off the top of my head that you're just always around. So
Jeez.
yeah, just being around those type of people and kind of picking their brains a little bit, seeing how what's life really like with all that money, huh? Like what's it really like? You get to see how they really are, right? If it really
Yeah.
changes people, and I could really go on that too. But yeah, it was a great experience, man. It's totally random, but I'm glad I did it. I'm still in contact with the people that I worked with at the time I was doing that. So it was a blessed opportunity. I'm still glad I did it. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. So what age did you start doing that?
I did that at 19,
Sheesh.
Yeah,
up
boy.
until 21. So I just turned 22. So I've been in real estate for just a little bit under 3 months, 4 months, but I've always been in, real estate. Like I did my first flip, sophomore year of high school, flipped a
Oh,
house with my
wow.
pops. Really cool. Yeah. I was awesome, man. I got to see the whole experience and how it kind of works out. But yeah, always been in kind of real estate mindset. Yeah.
Yeah. Talk about that for a little bit. Cause I think that's kind of interesting. Like you said, your dad was real estate, your grandpa was in real estate, and for you to flip a house at that young of an age, I think that's impressive for like, that's something that me and TK talk about in the next like 3-4 years. It's just getting a house and flipping in. By that time, we'll be 32. So for you to do something at that age, just talk about that
Yeah, man.
and the process.
Yeah, and never compare ages, dude. I mean, who
That's what I've
cares?
been learning.
It's whenever the
Yeah.
Yeah,
opportunity
he
comes
was talking
across
about
your
it
plate.
earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it don't matter if it's earlier or later. It's still gonna happen for you. Doesn't really matter. But anyways,
Real.
yeah, I got beyond blessed to when I was in high school, I started throwing parties. I started throwing parties like every other high schooler, right? Started throwing them, and in the back of my head, I was like, man, these are pretty good turnouts, right? There's a lot of kids coming out here. I'm really able to reel in a crowd and know how to market. I don't know if I'd say market, but it was just so easy for me to put something together and throw it. So I had a couple house parties, and I was like, is it normal for like that? Literally, when I tell you like 3,000 people, like up to that point, like people on the roof, you can't even get in the house, like jam packed, yards packed. Like I got videos still all over my phone, and people who listen to this that have been there, they're gonna be like, "Yep, yep,
Through a
yep,
Project X party.
yeah, yeah." It was crazy, man. It was literally bigger than that, bro. Like 100%.
Jesus.
Yeah, I had a kid on top of my roof, and this is right when the cops came. Just vividly remember this. Kid on top of my roof. He looks at me. I look at him, and he jumps off the roof into my koi pond. Into my koi pond. I go down there, rush down there, and his leg is like bleeding down here. And in the back of my head, I'm like, all right, I'm not doing this anymore. I'm not gonna be liable for,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. But like you said, to get to my point on how I was able to flip that house, I'm coming to
Yeah.
it because this all ties together.
Yeah, that's
So,
fine. Go ahead.
So
so in the back of my head, I'm like, man, let me rent out a venue, do the same thing, maybe have an artist, do a DJ. But in the back of my head, I'm like, kids really, they just want to party. They want to go a house party, drink, whatever, pregame, go, mingle, have conversations. I don't know if people are gonna really do that. So I marketed it as a party. Didn't really say it was like an event. No kid's gonna show up for a event. The kid's having an event.
Yeah.
You gotta pay at the door. I didn't even say anything about that, right? So I did my first one. It was $2. $2 at the front door. It's so cool because I threw it. Dad's out there at security collecting the money. Thank you. Taking the money. Thank you. Have a nice day. Mom's out in the parking lot as a security guard. Mom's out there like yelling at people. Yeah, you park right here, park right. So it was like a family operation going on, but nobody really knew. Like except for my buddies. Like, hey, Mr. Gasser, how's it going? Hey, man. Hey,
Yeah.
So yeah, I did that, and then my dad was like, all right, Brice. Like when I did that, it was only $2 a ticket, but a lot of people came. I was like, okay. So I went bigger. So I did one more. I did $10 a ticket, but I actually promoted that. $10 a ticket, the front door, hired an artist, the whole deal. And I did that, and that's when I was like, man, I came home with, a good amount of money. I was like, is this like normal is this like, can I just do this? Like, is this what I'm supposed to do? Like, I thought that was going to be my main thing. That's what I said. I was going to be an event coordinator. So long story short, I took that money. I put it away like I never even made it. I held on to it. Went through my school year. Told my dad, I was like, hey, I know you're in real estate. Like, what can I do with this? He's like, you know what? I was waiting for you to, I was wanting to see if you blew that money or wanted to invest it. I was like, let's invest it. So did the first flip, did the whole shebang, was able to do it. Really cool experience, man. So that's how I got to be able to do the
crazy.
That's crazy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Really cool. I got videos. Since then, the promoter stuff, I took it down from being a real estate agent because people go on there and they're like, man, this kid knows how to party, right? Yeah, but I'm tempted to put it back on there because I think people like being personable, right? So
yes, they do. Yes, they do. Show you.
You. Shows a whole different side of you besides the professional aspect.
Yep.
100%.
So is that how you sell houses now? You still do the same way?
Yeah.
In what way?
By throwing parties.
Oh no, I wish, right? No, but
so much easier.
Honestly, I'm very curious to see what happens with me when I come to be 24, 25, when kids that were all going to those parties now know that I'm a real estate agent and they know I'm personable. They know I'm, right? Personable, easy getting, just chill, right? Like, I think I'll be very comfortable to be able to help them out with, buying a house. Yo, Gasser, I knew you from XYZ. Now I'm looking to buy a house. Can you help us out? I think that's what I'm really excited for with that time to come. Because right now I'm kind of in an awkward stage where I'm 21, 22. People are renting, right? And not really buying a home yet. Unless you
got it like that.
Yeah, unless you got it like that. Unless Uncle Bob's like just saying, hey, let's get you investment property and you live in it, rent the other side out, house hack or whatever it may be. But yeah, so.
No, the transition is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
So real estate is so vast, right? There's so many different facets that go into it. So when you were first starting out, how did you make the decision of like what you wanted to do? Was it when you actually brought the money to your pops and you like, okay, let's go do this with it, or is it you in your mind like I want a house flip, or I want to do commercial, or I want to do buy and sell? Like what kind of was the groove, the gears changing in your mind? Like, okay, I know I want to do real estate, I just don't know what I want to do, or this is what I want to do, and I'm gonna stick with that.
Yeah, 100%. And I know the answer to that is definitely my dad. Being able to see him transition. He was born and raised in Owensboro. That's why I came back here. Born and raised in Owensboro, moved to Louisville, away from his sphere, right? Everyone he grew up with. Moved to Louisville, was a businessman. He owned a flea market there. He did that, started a lazy river. So he's just an entrepreneur, man. And I really looked up to him because he created everything from scratch. He never worked for anyone his whole entire life. And that's what I grew up with. Neither did my grandpa. And those were the two big figures. So I was like, you know what? I don't want to do a 9 to 5 ever. I don't want to have to do X, Y, Z. So really looked up to them, and being able to see my dad move back from Louisville to Owensboro and really kill it in real estate makes me know, hey, it's possible. I can do that. I can do that, right? Because there's a lot of things that my dad is really smart at, and there's some things that I'm like, I think I'm better at, right? So as far as just certain things, so I came back here to be taught by him and just follow his footsteps, and he really hit the trigger on me to say, okay, I want to do real estate because I can see that it works. I know what it takes to do it, and I know that I can do it. So that's what kind of made me say, okay, I'm going to do it. But I've only been in it for about 3 months, like I said, full-time agent. I've only done literally like one deal. But at the end of the day, I I know I don't sit there and look at my results. I focus on my progress, and I know my progress right now is so steady as far as where I know I'm going to be, right? So that's what makes me happy.
No, that's interesting. I mean, that's a major story, right? Like
Mhm.
the fact that you had the infrastructure to be able to learn and see that obviously as you grew up, it's like, okay, there's something for me to achieve, and you're probably doing great things. Your grandfather's been doing great things, so that there's a blueprint already there. So the fact that you can kind of pick that up and be curious enough to want to dive into it, and then on the flip side of it, it's like now show your father that you're really serious about it. Because I know he's like, yeah, I want you to do it, but it's like I'm not finna just tell you to do it if you're not really gonna be determined to do something. All right. So it's the fact that
Yeah.
you're determined and you really want it. I'm sure he's excited to be able to teach you and see where you take things and continue to work together. So I mean,
Yeah, of
it's
course.
an honor. It's an honor to be able to do that. So
Yeah.
uh, it's pretty cool. But going into like you mentioned like being able to like growing up doing sports and you did racing, motocross, and uh, being able to play sports like taught you resilience, right? And taught you focus. How do
Yeah.
these lessons carry over into like the current career in real estate, and what's your outlook on life because of that? Also, before you answer that, for people that don't know what racing motocross is, can you kind of break that down and what that
Yeah.
really does?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. A lot of people, don't shockingly don't know about it. So the best way I can explain it is, it's supercross. It's like right. So it's a dirt bike. You race a track. There's jumps and stuff, and you race. There's outdoor. There's indoor. And that was my thing, man. Growing up, we had our family built a track, like a supercross track, an outdoor track that was our own thing, right next to my dad's flea market, and it was pretty cool. We kind of became like local celebrities. People would come out there and watch us ride. It was awesome, man. It was cool, but um, yeah, definitely. In the back of my head, traveling as a young kid, when I did motocross, I was pulled out of school a lot, and my dad had a Toyota hauler. He'd come pick us up and be able to travel a lot. And even being as a young kid, I still like thought to myself like, when I'm a dad, I want to be able to do something like this with my kids, right? I want to
Mm,
be able to have the freedom to say, hey, it's okay. And motocross is one of the most expensive sports, man. Like it's right up there with the horse riding and stuff.
yeah,
It's right up there with like F1. I don't know if that high, but it's an expensive sport. So when I look back on that, I want to be like, how did my dad do that? How was he able to do that for me? And how can I do that for my kids? Being able to travel
mm,
whenever we wanted and give me those opportunities. Like I can look back and genuinely say, I had one of the coolest childhoods, dude. Like growing up,
That's
I
what's up.
traveled all the time. I experienced so many places. Did the coolest stuff. Like just random stuff my dad would do for us. He was just one of those guys that was just like he kind of wanted to his kids to have an experience growing up. So, um, yeah, that's what I would like to do for my kids, 100%.
no, amazing, no,
That's
amazing.
big.
That is big. No, but I mean, looking more into the real estate side, right? So just going into I'm thinking about like when my parents decided to build their own house. I think it was in 2015. They bought a house a long time ago in Georgia, and I think they sold it. I'm not sure how long ago after when they bought it, maybe 10
Mm-hmm.
something years after that. But they planted here in Kentucky and obviously built a home, and just going through that process of a family wanting to build something from ground up, or even just purchasing a home that they want to build, but you still got to go through the motions of I want a kitchen like this, or I want my bedrooms like this, or if I have a basement, I want a basement set up like this. So
Of
going through
course.
that journey just to have an infrastructure set up to where you kind of have your dreams fulfilled. And as a real estate
Yeah.
agent, you're helping people realize their dreams and have a self actualization of what that looks like for them, and you kind of just navigating their thoughts to bring it to life in a way. So like, how has your career like helped you understand your own story and the importance of creating a place to call your own home?
Yeah, 100%. Whenever you see a family kind of, walk into an open house or walk into something, you can really you can see the joy on their face as far as like, oh my gosh, we're finally at that step. Like we're looking, like I know in the back of my head, like they worked hard to be able to go into that open house and be serious, and
Yeah.
start looking. There was a process up to that point to say, all right, honey, we're ready. Like, let's go home shopping. We finally got that job, or we finally got that investment, or XYZ. It finally hit. So being able to see the joy of those families, when they come in and, be ready to actually buy a home and be able to enjoy that process. You're
Mhm.
coming in with your kids, everything, and they're kind of just looking like, it's kind of like you see that and you're like, yeah, I want to be able to do that sometime. Growing up, I want to be able to walk into a house with my family and just have fun with it. This could be our future home, right?
Yeah.
You walk in there with your kids, they're running around, they're screaming, or you have a baby in your hand. Like, I soak that all in when I see families come in or I meet a family, right? I'm like, that's kind of what I take away from it. I want to be able to be successful so I can do that one day. Yeah, 100%. That's a good question.
Kind of go off of that, right? Like in today's society, where we're in 2024, about to go into 2025. Like, what does the American dream look like for you right now?
100%. What's in my mind is freedom. I do everything because, man, I want to be free of stress, free of be able to go wherever I want, when I want, without anything holding me down. And that honestly only almost sounds impossible to some people. What? Like be able to go anywhere, wherever you want. Man, there's careers out there that'll let you do that if you really hone in and figure it out and focus on it. Don't give up.
Yes.
Just keep pushing it out. It's possible, man. It really is. It's possible. And I'm not saying that I can do it. Like, of course, right now, no. Like, I got to show up every single day until I'm able to do that. But, I've had mentors in my life
Yeah.
where I'm watching them, and I know he's gonna know I'm talking about him right now if he hears this. But I'll text him, and one day he's in Hong Kong, the other day he's in London, the other day he's in wherever. I'm just like, man, I want to work my tail off. So by the time I'm his age and he's only like, 35, 36 years old, I want to be able to do that, man. Like, I really want to be like, that's my why, 100%. I want to be able to travel. And a lot of people are like, I don't like traveling, man. Like, I think traveling is one of
Shoot.
the biggest, like, whys you can have. Like,
Yeah, for sure.
don't you want to see this little speck that we're on? Like, all of it?
Memories, man. Memories. That's the big thing
Yeah.
about traveling. It's easy to create memories when you travel.
hmm Yeah, 100%. I completely agree with that. Like, you remember when you went and took that trip or you spent that time in
Yeah.
away from your house, but like little memories when you're just here, like you don't really remember that because it's kind of an everyday thing, right? Unless
Yeah.
it's really big. But memories you 100% remember all the time. So that's my why. I want to be able to travel, man. That's what keeps me going. I literally have a poster board right here that has it's kind of like a vision board, and it has places I want to go and cars that I want. It's got a horse on
Mm,
there because I want to be a horse owner myself. It's got a yacht, a wedding, so
going
a whole
crazy,
bunch of good
which is
stuff.
great. Which is great. Which is great. I mean, you need to do that, especially when it don't really matter what age you are. To be honest with you, but you just
Yeah.
have the ability to want more for yourself and your family, which is obviously important as a man, and just wanting to do things that obviously people around you aren't doing, or hopefully the people around you are doing. I think it makes it a little bit easier. But I mean, it's always important to go. It's a lot of people I know that in New York. They've been in like the suburbs of New York, I mean, Queens, Brooklyn, Manhattan, and they haven't even been, not Manhattan, but they haven't been to Manhattan, and it's like a 20-minute train ride just to go out there and do
Right.
that. There's people probably in Kentucky that's in, like you say, Owensboro or Elizabethtown, where we're kind of where we met, Fort Knox area, that's never driven 45 minutes to Louisville, and it's just like
Mhm.
it's interesting to have that dynamic of you're bigger than just the city, right? You're bigger than just the state. You're bigger than just the country. Like these other places out there, and some people don't even think about ever experiencing it. And it's
Mhm.
always interesting to tell that. But I'm glad like freedom is something for you because you get to create any opportunity for yourself, and you never tied down to things that you don't need to be tied down to. So I mean, I asked the American dream because it's different for everybody, right? America is obviously one of the greatest nations in the world, so we have a lot of opportunity, and people should try to figure out what that is for them. But no, that's great that
Yeah.
you obviously have that lined up for yourself.
Appreciate
Um,
it. Yeah.
but yeah, man, moving into like because I'm in a phase, right? So I just moved up here. What's it? Like 2 months ago, right? But I mean,
Mhm.
I came here doing the podcast. We've been doing the podcast for about a year now, and I was like, okay, well, last summer around July, I came up here just to kind of check on things. Was trying to get a little more infrastructure set up here, and I was like, okay, well, if we're gonna take this to the next level, I got to move back up here. But I didn't obviously. I had the decision to buy or rent, but I made a decision to rent just because my
Mhm.
personal mindset was okay. I want to put more into the business than I did want to do like my own home. So like
Yeah.
for for someone weighing in the decision between renting and owning property, like what factors should they be considering, and like what and like in your experience, like when is the right time to make the leap? If you kind of can tell us from your perspective.
As soon as you can to be a homeowner.
Yeah.
As soon as you can, ASAP,
Mm.
dude. Build that equity as soon as you can. I
Okay.
promise. There's literally a statistic. A homeowner's network is 40 times greater than just a regular renter. Like it's insane. It's absolutely insane. Like there's some good things to renting. Obviously, you're going to build your credit
Yeah.
better, XYZ. But at the end of the day, the sooner that you're a homeowner, the sooner you're going to be able to build that equity. It's an investment. You're building your money, and you can take that money and roll it over to another property if you want. If it's an investment property, you can take that equity and roll it over to another investment property, totally tax free. Just totally tax free. Put it into another investment property and just
Yeah.
keep that rolling. So the sooner that you can do that, the sooner you're really going to see that wealth start to multiply. So the way I tell people about renting is when you rent, you're paying 100% interest.
Yep.
That's it. The money's gone. You're renting, paying 100% interest. When you're a home buyer, homeowner, you're building that equity up, and you're always going to have that, and that home's going to be worth more. So, look at a home as a bank account with a lot of interest. Yeah, 100%. That was a good question.
So let's say someone's like, man, I'm fed up with renting. Like, I'm ready to buy a house, buy a condo, whatever it may be. I got everything ready. What are the steps for people who are at home who don't really know the steps of purchasing a house and going through like a real estate agent? Can you about that?
Yeah, 100%. First step you want to do is get pre-approved. A lot of people don't even know. Yeah, the first step. Literally, I'm helping out um, a person that I know, and they're like, "Yo, how do I like? What's the first step to even do it?" And honestly, if I was a real estate agent, I don't think that I would really know either, honestly. So yeah, the
That's
first step
true.
to do that is yeah, the first step to do that is get pre-approved and kind of have somebody help guide you what your finances look like so you know what your budget is looking like,
Mm.
where so you're not going to make you house poor, right? You don't want to put you in a fancy house and now you got all the stress in your house poor. You want to be somewhere you're comfortable with, you love, and you're just you're not stressed out about where you're at. You know how much money you bring to the table and what your payment is, XYZ, and you don't need to have that stress. Yeah. The second thing is you just go home shopping. So if you're a buyer, you're looking, you want to get with a good real estate agent, somebody that's very personable and that you feel like you can ask any question with. I like to. I figure a lot of people, like my dad, is just a funny guy, man. Like just be personable, be normal, right? Don't be I'll tighten them. But you
Yeah,
can
I feel
be,
that.
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, you can be, business and serious. But at the end of the day, man, like get to know them, right? Get
Yeah.
to know the person. Why are they moving? What's important to them? What's their family like? What are they wanting to do? What are their goals and ambitions? Like what is making them want to move, and really figure that out, right? So that you can put them in that place, and really pick their brain about it. So I think that really is what separates some real estate agents from others. There's some are very I guess the word they use is transactional, right? They don't, you got a buyer, okay, interested, all right, look a little bit. I like to go have coffee with somebody, man. Like I said, I've only done one deal, but literally I can tell you how many coffee dates I've been on and how many, um, lunches I've had with people just to meet people, right? And just to,
Yeah.
I love meeting people, shaking their hands, seeing, how I can help, right? So yeah, but to answer your question, that process, man, I can sit here and go on and on and on about it. But yeah, it's a pretty long process. There's 180 steps actually to buying a home. And that's why I like to help people do all 180 steps. Yeah.
That's different.
Yeah, there's a lot
Yeah.
of steps. That's a
Yeah,
lot of steps.
I was just about to ask you, TK. So TK bought a house, what, 2 years ago? 3?
Mm-hmm.
There we go,
Um,
TK.
what was
I'm honored.
Yeah, bro.
how was your experience? Like, was it stressful? Did you have a
don't get me
great real
wrong.
estate agent?
I mean, we had a good rotation, but my girl, she put a lot of effort into that. She made that transaction easy. Like she did everything, like found everything. I kind of just went to the open houses with her. But honestly, the crazy thing about the house that we got, she didn't even go to the open house. Like I went and I was like, "Hey, this is it." Like 100%.
This is it.
Like this got like a good, decent sized basement, backyard for the kids. Like this is it. Like and she was like, hey, "Man, if you like it, I like it too. So we just gonna go ahead and go roll with it." So good. I guess the main thing, like you were saying, the 100% interest into renting thing, like my mortgage, I'm like, it's not cheap, but it's not like overly expensive. So it's like at least I know I'm putting that money and I'm gonna get some back from that. Like just build this
Oh,
up,
100%.
like equity and stuff like that. Like they're building new things around the area. So I'm just like you said, like it's an endless bank account. And like I didn't realize that because like I said, for you probably know because you real estate with that. But if you don't like learn that stuff, like you'll never know. They should be like taking your money and stuff. Now I got something that I can like build off of and make more. Cause like
Yeah.
I'm a believer because my parents have got a couple houses in their lifetime and whatnot. I believe in starter, mid, and then dream house. Cause that's kind of how my parents did. So this kind of like my starter, then get to the mid side, and then we get to the dream house where it's like you build and then you got the whole, estate that you want to do. So that's why like it's definitely a good process though. But man, hey, if you was my realtor though, we've been rocking too. So it's all good. You might be my next one. You never know.
I'd love to help you, man.
Yeah.
Let's do it. We'll make it fun.
Yeah, of course. 100%.
Yeah.
He doesn't like coffee though, so you got to go take him out to get something
I
else.
ain't doing no coffee.
What do you drink?
Water. No, that's fine. We can go to lunch, bro. I'm easy. I just can't do the coffee. I've tried. Just can't do it.
Not even with like all the cream and all the sugar, nothing.
Ice coffee, black coffee.
I ain't gonna lie, I'm
No
right
matter
there.
what,
with you.
can't do it.
I'm not a coffee guy either, so I'm right there.
Just
I'm
can't
right
do
there.
Really?
it, man.
Yeah, no,
Just can't do it.
I love coffee, every kind.
Dude,
that's
big coffee guy, man.
I'm a hot tea guy.
Why?
I drink hot tea.
Hot tea's good. Hot tea.
Yeah.
I like everything,
don't-
man. There's
I
really
don't do
nothing
hot
I
tea.
don't like. I'll be 100%. Yeah.
I can't do the coffee, bro. What do you do from Starbucks?
This man got a bad experience with coffee, and I want to know what
no,
it is.
I don't. But what is your go-to coffee?
What's my go-to coffee? This Keurig
like-
right here.
No, I'm just talking about you don't get nothing from like Starbucks. Like I know everybody
The
gets the
cheapest.
pumpkin. Okay.
Mm,
Okay.
Got to.
Okay.
mm.
My go-to coffee is the cheapest.
Starbucks be taxing too.
That's what I heard. A lot of people go to
You
different
know what the
places to
average
get
person
Starbucks.
spends on Starbucks a year?
Too
Wow.
much.
Like
I want y'all to
20,000.
guess.
At least a meal. A milli.
A mil. Way too much, man.
I believe it, man. But they got all them apps, them promos, them reward. I mean, people. I'm telling you, when they go to work, they can't if they don't have coffee, bro. They a totally different person. I'm always like this. I'm always grumpy and happy when it's time's right. So I don't know.
So where do you get your energy from? You do any energy drinks or anything?
Blood, sweat, and tears.
There you
There
go.
we go.
There
I
you
run
go.
out of game.
Exactly.
There you
Literally. I mean, I'll do energy drinks a little bit, but honestly, bro, and half the time you can actually I'll fall asleep on you, bro. Like I don't stay up work for nothing. Like if I'm tired, I'll fall asleep.
Yep.
100%.
There'll be sometimes he'll be over at my crib watching TV, watching some sport event on. I'll go to the bathroom, come back out. He's passed out.
Knocked out.
He gone. I'm like, dude, it's only
Yeah,
4 p.m.
Just like that. Knocked out, bro.
That's how I am, man. I hit a wall and I'm done.
Yeah, bro.
I'm done. Yeah,
That's different.
100%.
That's different. Excuse me. But I was thinking like the family infrastructure, right? So like my family, I have an older brother, and I'm a military brat like everybody else on this channel, and we kind of had experience going to different places, right? Just obviously your parents in the military, you got 2 or 3 years, you move to different locations, and I got to see a lot of different things growing up, just culturally and just within my household, right? So, but I got to learn because my brother had his own path, so I got to watch him as a young kid and see, okay, he did this, I don't like that. He did that, I like that, I want to do that. Obviously, my parents are always working, so I'm really around my brother the most of my time. So it allowed me to kind of grow quicker because he's like 4.5 years older than me. So it allowed me to, have different experiences than just having the average experience with my friends that's my age. So it allowed me to grow up and see different things and want different things and obviously be on a different wavelength. Obviously, still be in cahoots with my own friends, but just seeing different things kind of gives you an eye open experience. So obviously, you being the youngest in your family, like how did that dynamic shape your ambitions, right? And what have you learned from watching your siblings carving out like your own unique path? And like how many siblings do you actually have?
Yeah, so I'm the youngest of three. I got an older sister. She's 26 years old, I want to
Okay.
say. Man, I can't. Yeah, yeah. I lose track, man. But yeah, she's the oldest. Jackson's 24, and I'm 22. So Jackson's 25. I'm 22. But yeah, being the youngest, man, it definitely. I think I was made to be the youngest. I don't know why.
Mm,
Like I couldn't imagine being anything else than the youngest. I think.
I feel like that too.
Yeah, I think they
Yeah.
just shaped me 100%, man. Like, you know, Jackson and I growing up, we were like oil and water. We did not get along whatsoever, man. I don't know about
Mm,
y'all, but man, I fought and him and I were horrible together. He actually broke this wrist twice because we watched the WWE so much.
Oh my, the prank.
Yep.
Man,
Dang.
so he was on top rope, which was top of the couch, and he jumps off, and my wrist is flat like this, and his butt bone lands on it and just
Oh.
literally shatters it.
Yeah.
And I walk out to the porch, I'm like, mom, look at my what the Jackson, like I'm like this, I'm like,
Oh
you know,
man.
yeah, but to get back to your question, yeah, he definitely shaped me, and he definitely shaped the relationship that I have with him now. I mean, him and I are just like best buds, man. We're best friends. We hold each other accountable. Like,
yeah,
and I think what turned that switch on, man, was like I was telling you in the sauna that when we met, I had a big arm surgery done. Right, I had
yeah,
a huge arm surgery done, and when I had that fixator in my arm and I came home and I'm like all drugged up and I'm just really going through it, man. Um, I think something clicked inside his head where he was like, because literally I vividly remember after that, him and I like never had an argument ever, like whatsoever. We were just bros. And now I'm like, I can't even imagine arguing with him really. Like,
mm-hmm.
I feel. Hey, I
yeah,
feel that.
Yeah.
yeah,
I
yeah.
feel that completely. That's how me and my
But
sister is. I feel
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. So, yeah, being able to grow up and see this, like the hard times that he's been going through, and being able to help him out with certain things and then him help me out with certain things. I think you just piggyback if you have that relationship with your siblings, you just piggyback off of, because that's your blood, man. Like there's nobody else that is more like you, honestly, than your own family. And you can really say anything unfiltered what you're going through, man, mentally, physically, whatever it may be. So um yeah, definitely. And then being able to have a sister who you know has her own house, has a great place, has a steady income, has a beautiful kid, has a dog, has that white picket fence like type of life, right? Be able to look at that and see the hard work that she put in to do that, being able to balance being an athlete and being where she is now.
mm,
um, Definitely set the tone for me being the youngest, right? So,
that's
100%. Mm-hmm.
Remember what
That's
you
real.
said? Because we had a we
That's
had a
real.
big spiel where we had a it may have been 2 episodes ago. It hasn't aired yet, but by this time this airs, I'm sure the episode airs. But we had a strength conditioning athletic trainer on,
Mm-hmm.
and we was talking about like saunas and stuff like that. And they're like, "You still go to saunas?" I'm like, "Yo, I literally meet most of my people that I build relationships with are in the sauna, and like nobody
Yeah,
really gets that, and I don't know how to explain it. It's just like go in the sauna, bro. Like,
He
but
did say that. He
hey,
did say that. He did say that.
and we just Bryce, we probably just met what like a month ago, like not even a month, like how
no,
long ago?
not even a month ago, man. Maybe a week and a half ago.
Like we can have
Yeah, see,
it's
see,
Yeah.
but that's just. I mean, granted, yeah, the sauna, but also it's like it just clicks though. Like we
Yeah.
all like
You're
casual
both
or
sitting there
whatnot.
hot,
yeah,
sweating.
you know.
Yeah, yeah.
Man,
It's
this sucks.
just
I know, bro.
That's
Yeah.
hilarious.
that's wild, man.
No, but
Yeah.
yeah, you said you mentioned you're 22 years old. Obviously, you've already lived pretty much a full and dynamic life, more than a lot of people. Like, how do you define like success for yourself, and has that definition evolved and transitioned through different careers?
Being able to do all that, and travel as much as I have at a
Yeah,
young age, I think it just solidifies, like I touched on earlier, that freedom to be able to travel to those places because I want to be able to, like, I'm sitting there looking at, the screen at some of my friends, like in Florida or some of my friends in New York, and I want to be able to in my head be like, yo, like next weekend I'm gonna come see you and
yeah,
be able to do
Tough.
that, man. Because
That's
like you
tough.
experience some places, you're like, man, like when am I ever gonna be back here? Like, I want to be able to like, I'm coming back here 3 weeks. I'm coming back. No, no worries, right?
no,
Just the freedom to like be able to do that like fires me up just to think about it. Like, I just want it bad. Be able to do that. Yeah.
it's fire.
Same here.
Top two places that you really want to like your dream destinations you want to go, whether it's
Ooh,
live or just visit.
good question.
Um. Yeah, that's a great question, man.
I want to
That's
hear
a
this.
that's an open-ended question.
Yeah, I want to
Um.
hear this.
Yeah, top of my head, I'd love to go to Jerusalem.
Mhm.
I'm religious, Jesus
Hmm.
Christ. I'd love to see where he was
Wow.
actually born and just experience that whole place. I would love to go over there, man, and just see it for myself, like experience all of that. It's just so historical, and I'm a history buff. Like I love that stuff. Anywhere with history, man, I'd love to go. You know, um, yeah.
That's,
So number one place I would want to go. I know it sounds crazy, like man, this
fire.
That's
22-year-old
dope.
wants to go to
Yeah.
Jerusalem.
Nah, that's dope. You thinking outside the box.
Yeah, that's
That's
Yeah.
dope.
Yeah, man, I'd love to go there. How about y'all?
Yeah,
Where,
that'd be
where would
dope.
y'all want to go?
Mm,
tough, tough question.
ooh,
Anywhere.
Tough question.
anywhere.
Think about
Somebody
this.
go
It's gonna be
first.
It's gonna be your last place too. You only get like it's the only place you can go. Like you really want to see this place.
Oh man.
I think
Also, the pyramids, man. That's a good idea.
yeah, I'm
I
about
want
to
to
say
see
Pyramids
those.
would be good.
You
that's
know
tough.
what? I'm gonna go first, and LeBrain's gonna hate me, but Portugal.
Okay.
I would want to go to Portugal.
Look at it shaking
I
his
would
head.
want to go. I would want to go to Portugal.
He ain't gonna be there.
Ugh.
He only want to
I'm
go
not.
for
No,
Cristiano
nah.
Ronaldo.
That's not necessary for him to do.
He
I'm
gonna
just
go up
saying.
to his door, knock, knock, knock. Mr.
No,
Ronaldo, please open up. And
no.
he's not
I
gonna go
want.
open up, and you'd be like, man, I wish I would have switched my
No,
answer.
Portugal's still a nice place.
You don't even know where it's at on a map.
Come on, stop it. Now, stop. Now, that's one thing I do know. I'm very good at that.
Yeah.
Come
Okay.
on now.
Okay.
I
Okay.
played
Okay.
FIFA World Cup 2010, bro. They had a whole globe on that, bro. Come on. I know
All
everything's
right.
at.
All right.
Don't challenge me. We got
I
Portugal for me.
I would say so. If it was one place I could uh, that I've been to before, it would definitely be Tokyo. But if I had to choose something somewhere else, it would be I'd probably go visit either Madrid or Barcelona. I think those would be two really cool cities to go visit.
Madrid,
Any
Barcelona.
specific reason?
I think it's just very rich in like the soccer history. I'd love to go see the Bernabeu, the new Madrid stadium too.
Mhm.
Just everything in there. I worked with a lot of college athletes, specifically tennis athletes that are from Spain and they're from Barcelona, Madrid, and they talked about how great it is, and they showed
Mm.
me pictures of just like the nightlife and everything, and it just seems like a really cool country in general just to go visit that I've never been to.
No, it's amazing. I've been to Paris, London. I used to live in South Korea. I've been to
What?
Tokyo. I've
Hold
been
up.
to Hawaii. Yeah, military brat, military brat. So like I've
Okay.
lived a
Yeah.
lot of different places outside of. Well, I went to Tokyo, not Tokyo. I went to Paris and London from UK. I was studying merchandising and apparel and textiles, and we had to go over there for about 2 weeks just to learn more about fashion and what they do over there. That's a pretty cool
Mhm.
experience. But as far as like where I would really, I ain't gonna lie. So Asia is interesting because like South Korea is super advanced. Like it feels like they're 15 years advanced than we are. Everything's just it feels like you floating on like if they have floating cars already, it's what it feels like. I'm not sure they do. I haven't been back there in a while, but if I had to choose a place, probably like I don't know if you heard of it, but it's called Shenzhen, China. So
Mhm.
I'm big on like history stuff too. So they say Beijing is a place where you get to learn about the culture, the richness of it, the history of China. They say Shanghai is a place in China where you get to learn about just the present, how everything's operating and moving now. And then Shenzhen is like super 10 years in advance of how they're operating things. Like they got different
Mhm.
AI when their elementary school is pretty much having hands-on AI experiences. So they're teaching you
Mhm.
trades at like 5 years old. And then you go to different you go to different classrooms,
Wow.
lunches and different things. Like if imagine if everybody got to learn that experience and how they will be developed by the time they hit, 17, 18 years old. So I
Wow.
think I would want to go there just to see the technology, to see the advancement, to see the culture, and all that stuff. So I think that'll be one of the places for me for sure.
Wow. So you
It's
mean to
different.
tell me like a 5-year-old is learning trades?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, no, look it up after this call. Look it up. You're like, what? It's a whole
I can
video on
believe
there.
that.
It's
Dude.
crazy.
I can believe that.
They're learning trades. They're learning how to read and write. Obviously, they're learning how to. Some I think one course is like plumbing. One is like learning entrepreneur stuff with real estate. One is learning things
Oh
with
my.
buying and selling and wholesaling. Obviously, one is textile, so they like learn how to sew. All different types. This is all curriculum. Obviously, they got to play sports. They got like big old pickleball courts. It's like it's different. It's different.
Wow.
It's different.
Wow. You're
All in
so
one.
smart in college.
Yeah, bro, it's different. It's different. So I think that would be a place I definitely want to check out. Um, I think I'll definitely do that. But other than that, it's not one of the places that really shocked me right now. Outside of like seeing the pyramids in Africa, I think that'd be pretty amazing as well. Um,
Hmm.
but yeah, man, you said everyone right, like everyone's going through their own battles on different things. We're in a time where like things are changing rapidly. Obviously, we're going through different things in our country, but obviously, I think we still have a great country. But even though like people go through different things, they got different battles, and they overcome those, or they stay stagnant and they don't figure out the right paths to kind of get over those humps. Like, how has facing your own battles given you empathy and purpose, and how do you hope to use your platform to inspire others?
Yeah, 100%. I think, at the end of the day, and I'll be fully transparent, where I'm at in my life right now. This past year, I don't think I've been through as much as far as kind of like a mental, not like just a mental battle with yourself, just
Yeah,
finding your purpose and your why and everything. I think this year I've really kind of dove deep into that. And I think everyone goes through a year, whether you're 30, 31, or you're like at 28, like you're always going to have a year, man, where you're like, you're trying to figure out
yeah,
what your why is, what's your purpose. I had a buddy call me the other day, and he's like, and I'm just checking up on him, like seriously, I'm just checking up on him, and he's like, I was like, man, like I heard are you doing okay? He's like, man, I'm just struggling on finding my purpose. And I think some people kind of, they really start to see that they're kind of in this rat race. Wake up, do this, do that, go to bed. Okay, man, like what do you do? There's got to be a reason what you're doing this for, or else you're just gonna be like a robot day after day after day. So I think this year I've really thought a lot,
mm,
100%, because I've had so many things change. I've had so many things happen to me, and there's certain people that are gonna listen to this and be like, yeah, like I know he's talking about. Like there's just a lot of things that have, things are gonna happen to everyone, man. And it's not if they
True.
happen, it's when they happen, and it's how you're gonna react to it.
yeah,
And a lot of people, that's like a famous line. A lot of people say it, but it's so true, man. It's so true. It's things are gonna happen to everyone, and I said that to you, coming onto this because there's a lot of people that are, my friends that I would never think that they're going through what they actually are going through as far as like a mentally. Like people put on such a good front, man, and you would never ever in a million years think they are.
Yeah,
Like at all. So,
true.
never be any type of way. If you're having a bad day, man, and you're going to be a little sour towards somebody, just don't talk to them. Like, I know it sounds so cliche, but it goes such a long way, man, just to be a nice person. Like I went through a period of my life, man, where I was like, I literally was just living in hell for me. But like in the back of my head, like I'm still thankful, like I'm okay, like but like for me, I'm like I'm not where I want to be, so I'm kind of like a little ticked off. Um, but at the end of the day, I like to leave a good impression on people, where like it can make their day a little bit. So yeah, that's a good question though.
Nah, that's important. That's important. Obviously, we all go through different things. We're human. I don't think you're human if you don't go through different things, right? So the fact that
Right?
we
Yeah.
we we have these, I guess I would call them tests to figure out,
Hmm.
how to get to the next test, the next journey, the next phase, which kind of brings us in, to our word of the week, which is willpower, right? So, um, I want to give you obviously you kind of hit on it, but I want to give you like, what does willpower mean to you, and how have you seen your journey get better because you like, okay, I'm going through this. Like you said, I'm going through hell in my life right now where I feel like it, but it's not as catastrophic as like, people don't get to drink or they don't have water or they don't have a roof over their head. But obviously, everybody has their own thing that is a burning thing that you're going through, which
Hmm.
is it's always tough to talk about that, right? Because there's different facets of how to get through them and how to get treated for the right things and how to use escapism for ways or how to internalize it and get through it and look right in the mirror. But like, how has
Yeah.
willpower really shaped you to do that? Because you got to be pretty brave, pretty courageous to obviously whatever you're going through to be able to get to a decision where like, yo, I'm not gonna let this defeat me, right? So how have
Yeah.
you how has that really honed who you are now, and how has it allowed you to be thinking about the next thing, the next test you have? Because I've already been here. If I go through that again, I know what I need to
Yeah.
do.
Yeah. What's helped me a lot is really like honing in on just learning myself. Like
Yeah,
half the time people don't really like sit there and really think and pay attention to the thoughts that you're feeding yourself like
yeah,
day after day after day, and you're wondering why these results around you aren't changing, man. It literally all starts in your head. Your thoughts create your action create your legacy. So it all starts in your head, man. So being able to control your thoughts and pay attention to what you're thinking about, and being able to pay attention to what you're doing and what's creating that negativity for you. Like there was something that I was doing that like was creating this brain fog for me. It was these freaking the little nicotine zen things, right?
mm,
Like I know it's so like random, but I promise you, dude, once I got off of that, like my brain fog was like, oh, okay, now yeah, that's what it was. Like if you pay attention to just certain things you're doing day in and day out, and making that change, and taking control of your mind. I can't emphasize like the only thing in this life that we can control is our thought process on a daily basis. That is it.
yeah,
That is literally it. You can't control your health. You can't control, literally anything. Name me a thing that you can genuinely control,
yeah,
like 100%. You can't control what happens tomorrow. You can't control the weather, like nothing.
That's real.
You
I
can't
see what you're
control your
saying.
mom or dad's health, but what you can control is your thoughts saying, okay, like happiness is a choice, man. I'm gonna be happy today. I firmly believe that, man. Happiness is a choice. You can make that choice to be happy
it's a fact.
and just be a happy person. So
No, we
Nice.
appreciate that. That's a fact. Is anybody else got any thoughts on willpower?
Nah, he killed it right there for real.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
no, come on, you got more than that. Let me hear it.
That's I mean the choice part got me when you said you can't really predict your mom's health, your dad's health. Like you can choose to be happy because I mean everything happens for a reason.
Yeah,
Mhm.
That's just kind of where I take from it. I mean, it's
Mhm.
because like you were saying, you don't know what people were going through. I know I kind of been going through some stuff. You know, I lean on my boys here and whatnot.
Mhm.
DSC's isn't here right now, but I mean, lean on him too as well. Like just certain things where you just like just kind of talk it out. But in reality, I mean, at the end of the day, as long as you can talk it all you want, as long as you talk it to yourself and be happy with it, it'll go a long way longer than it has to be. So it's just one of the
Yeah.
things is you just got to be happy. You got to just. I don't like to use the word turn on a switch, but you kind of have to turn on a switch like I'm happy. Like the funniest thing ever is
Yeah.
I got a little niece and she'll be crying and my sister be like, "Are you happy now?" She's like, "Yeah, I'm happy." I'm like, knowing she's not really happy, but she's just telling herself that she's happy
Yeah.
because it's more
Yeah.
of a just telling your mindset like
Yeah.
it might be terrible, but I'm
Yeah.
gonna be happy right now. So that I
Mhm.
just kind of piggyback off of what you said because kind of hit on the helm for just basically saying that.
Yeah. No, definitely. They've done a study, man, where fear and belief, they literally in
Yeah,
your mind, they can't coexist at the same
yeah,
time. So
Mm.
you're
yeah,
fearful or you're believing in yourself and you're positive. They literally cannot coexist at the same time. It's either this or that. So
yeah.
you genuinely you do make that choice in your head.
Yeah.
Like you feel it kind of creeping on you, and you're having those negative thoughts where I don't
Yeah,
know if I can
yeah,
do this. Like if
yep.
you constantly are just like get in your head day by day, it's possible 100%. And I think you know I feel like I'm rambling, but to go on with that, man, like in this day and age, growing up, it's pretty damn hard, man.
It's
It's
different, man.
It's
it's
tough.
Different.
yeah, like
It's
you hop on Snapchat, you see a half
yep.
naked girl. You hop on this, you see a 19-year-old flexing his Bugatti. Like you're just like, uh,
What?
what?
And it's 7 a.m. in the morning.
Yeah, and
That's
you
what's
haven't even
crazy.
gone to work.
That's what's the crazy thing about it is it's literally 7 o'clock and we're like, what in the
You,
world?
you haven't even gone to work, man. And
Yep.
you got this 17-year-old telling you how to make millions of dollars.
Yes.
What?
Yes. In a McLaren.
Yeah.
It's
Okay.
crazy.
Okay. Yeah.
Crazy.
But yeah, so many distractions growing up. Like, and one person I'll say does understand this is my dad, man. He's just like, I could not imagine growing up in your generation. I'm just like, thank you. Like,
Yes, they I think they finally seen that. At first they didn't.
Yeah.
yeah,
Like I think they finally seen because it's this, bro. Like this thing is
the devil,
yes.
man.
It,
That's
it's
by
man.
comparison right there. That's all you do.
Yeah.
Compare,
It,
compare.
that yep.
You know?
Scroll, man.
Yeah, yeah. I don't, the comparison will take your happiness away, man.
Take it away.
100%.
Take
Stay
it
in your
away.
own lane. Compare yourself to the person in the mirror every single day, or the last day. So
Yeah.
No, the fact, just look at your accomplishments. Obviously from age where you had thought process of 5, right, to where you are now. You could be 15 right now, listening to this. You could be 21. You could be 35. You could be 40. You could be 50. And just think about everything you've been through to get to this point. I think I had
mhm.
a thought in my head like, man, we're trying to get to the next level with everything we want to do, but we have this vision board, this plan, we're getting everything. And I sit back, I'm like, man, it's crazy. It's like I pray for everything I have right now, and I'm still wanting more. And it's like
Yep.
you start hitting it like, dang. So it's like, what am I stressing about? It's like I'm going to arrive at a time that I need to arrive when I need to be, at that destination. So there's nothing to stress about. There's nothing to complain about. There's nothing to get down about. At the end of the day, it's a muscle training. Like we go to the gym to try to get fit, right? It's like, let me train my mind to think positive when things are negative. Let me train my mind to influence my behaviors to do better. I don't want to do this today, but let's go do it because that's going to lead me to the better results. So it's really just like you say, taking in everything you have and just understand like, yo, you're your best friend. Don't make yourself your own worst enemy, right? So look in the mirror, have those conversations with yourself. Don't be afraid of the things you don't know. Just learn. I think that's the best way I can tell anybody that's listening. Just learn things you don't understand so you can understand it. And when you understand it, you can be empathetic, right? So I think those are the traits of willpower for me. Just getting through those learning phases and tests just to get to the next level, and you arrive at a better person every day. And that's always the goal, man. So Bryce, man, we appreciate you, man, for coming on. It's been a
I appreciate
tremendous
you boys.
show, brother. Obviously,
Yeah.
we
Thank
definitely
you.
gonna catch up. We're gonna
Mhm.
do it. We're gonna have to do a part 2 one of these days. Obviously, we're gonna catch up and do some more things outside of it. But
Yeah.
Man, where can everybody follow you, man? If they want to continue to follow your journey, watch your story, like where your social handles that people can get
Yeah,
in
yeah.
contact with.
It's I'm on Instagram at Bryce Gasser Realtor. So it's Bryce with an I, Gasser Gasser Realtor. Yeah, and that's on Instagram. But I'm gonna start to be very active on there. I
Okay.
got a lot of stuff coming up that I'm really excited about. So yeah, I'm gonna be pretty active on there. So go ahead and give me a follow on there and keep up on there. So
There you go.
yeah.
TKD2, brother. Where can everybody follow you at?
One, Gasher, do you play the game? Do you play
What game?
Xbox? Do you play Xbox, PS5? You're not a game person? I'm
Nope.
mad at it. I'm mad at it.
I used to,
I'm mad
man. I used to be one of them Fortnite nerds that
Nah, you good. You good.
Yeah,
Just had to know, cuz
yeah.
I got a YouTube channel.
Okay.
Once you subscribe, TKD2 Gaming. I
Yeah.
make sure I always say this at the end of the day. And also, too, I don't know if you know, we never say X around here. It's only Twitter. So Twitter,
Twitter.
follow me.
Why
Yes,
not X?
He's
no,
too
we
young.
don't.
You got to remember, he's only
No, he's
22.
not. He's not. He's not. We don't remember.
It was
Age
a
is number
different
by
time
number.
back then.
Age is number by number, but he got an old soul, bro. You know it's Twitter. But
I know
everybody,
Twitter.
remember, follow me on Twitter at TKD2 Gaming. Obviously, subscribe at TKD2 Gaming.
I'll do it right now.
Instagram, thank you. _ TKD2 Gaming.
The Brunson, brother. Where can everybody follow you at?
All right, now that fool stopped talking,
Hey,
you can
man.
follow the real gamer.
What a plug.
Nah, I'm just kidding. You make sure to go
I
follow
like
my
that.
boy TKD2. But
Reverse.
for yeah, for my socials, you can go follow me on Twitter, on YouTube, on Instagram, on TikTok, all LeBrankston. Same thing with the gaming channels. Instagram, LeBrankston.gaming, TikTok, LeBrankston.gaming. We also have a Google Voice number. I say this every single week, and I'm gonna say it till the show's over, which will never be over. But but that number is 859-363-5365. If you want to call, leave us a message about who your favorite guest was, who your favorite co-host is, and why it's LeBrankston. Make sure to call that number. And we'll premiere it on the show, man. But again, make sure y'all call that number is 859-363-5365. And dear Michael, I'm gonna pass it over to you so you can wrap it up.
I just want to say, brother, I love your plugs, brother. We might have to do like an infomercial with you
Hey,
doing Dear
I'm
Radio,
just
figuring it
I'm
out.
just getting ready for us
you
to get an
kill it.
advertisement.
That's hilarious. But no, you can follow me at Dear Michael. Follow our actual channel, Dear Radio Show. Everywhere, obviously we posting new things. We have dual guests. We're trying to change up the environments. We got in person coming soon as well. So just be on tune to that. And man, we appreciate y'all for blessing us with your ears tonight and listening to another episode of Dear Radio. So we definitely will catch you same time next week. Y'all have a good one. Peace.
Bless. See you boys. Take care. Okay.